viewers, and welcome to another episode of Startup with Poland. My name is Tessa McIver, and I am your host. My guest today, Renata Hartle, is a real mover and shaker in the innovation ecosystem, with a focus on smart buildings. Renata has not only worked with startups to help them grow, but also identifies and implements startup solutions into buildings, helping them become more sustainable, efficient, and economical in their running. In a nutshell, she's a PropTech pioneer. Also, Renata recently founded her own startup in the recycling sphere, and I really want to find out all about it. Renata, I'm so excited to have you with us here today.
Yeah, thank you. Me too.
Well, welcome. And let's start with a bit of background. So you've spent many years working in various corporations, for example, Skanska and Colliers, but how did you get involved in the innovation space?
It was actually a very weird path because I was previously HR business partner, and in my job I was responsible to recruit and to grow talent in Skanska. And as we were growing them and thinking of different paths of what they can do, we started to talk about creative thinking, innovation. And for many years, my passion was and still is to design and facilitate workshops. So I started to run those what we called creativity mangles and help people open their minds and look for different solutions than what their usual job is. And, you know, those ideas were great, but often people were going back to their daily job and left idea on the side, and it somehow was hurting my heart. So I started to work with smaller groups on like how we can make these ideas really happen in the organization. And soon after, Skanska wanted to build a new business plan based on innovation. They asked me to be a part of a task force that then I led to present what the innovation could mean for us and which path we should take to really innovate and bring those ideas to projects. So it kind of, you know, I was always curious and kind of like built something from nothing was always my thing.
Okay, but it sounds very much like you were the right person in the right place at the right time.
Absolutely.
You know, to actually sort of jump when, you know, when companies, big corporates started looking at innovation, you were sort of, you know, in a good place to take that forward.
Absolutely. I was inside the company. I understood what we're doing and how we're doing. I was very close to people on all projects. I often got them into the company and grew them inside. So I think like jumping to this position, I had very good network, I had very good knowledge, and I had lots of energy to build new things. So
fantastic.
It went pretty quickly to then like really bring new things to projects and grow it from country to country.
Wow, fantastic. And are you able to share any of the sort of most exciting or your favorite innovations that you managed to implement?
So first we were testing smaller things like mobile access or how to manage parking more efficiently and provide flexibility through, you know, license plate recognitions and things like that. And soon after we decided to merge it into a bigger program that we called Connected by Skanska. So I was not the one who came up with the idea, but I was linking ideas, you know, and that's, I think, my biggest power, to link ideas and really push it to deliver and to make it happen.
Oh, well, fantastic. Now, I was very excited to hear that you've recently founded your own startup, WasteTracker, and I am absolutely dying to find out more about it. Please tell us.
So today I work as a smart building consultant, and I help landlords to really figure out smart building strategy and how to make that happen on commercial real estate market. And there was one point that I really couldn't find any solution for. Digitalization of waste. Most of buildings started to gather waste data because of ESG reporting. All big companies, occupiers of office buildings need to report their carbon footprint from operation, which includes carbon footprint from energy consumption, from other media, and from waste production. So what property managers do today is they basically take notes, or security of the building take notes, how many containers of plastic, of paper, of mixed waste was taken by a waste management company. Then they put it in Excel. They calculate how many kilograms could have been in those containers, which is always,
a bit of a guesstimate.
Yeah, so they tend to round it up. One container is this amount of kilograms, while probably it was just half full, So then they calculate like percentage-wise for companies how much waste they could have produced because they occupy 50%, 30% of the building. And I was looking all around Europe to find something that would really gather this data, and I couldn't. So we started to really think of how we could address it, and we asked one of the IT companies to just write a simple solution for us to register waste, and we implemented in the building, and we found lots of difficulties with it, like access to the system, if some company can put waste in somebody else's name. And, through iterations, I decided that it's time to really build something that really fits the market need. And I found a really great business partner that helped me to make this vision happen. And we created WasteTracker, which is basically a smart meter for waste production. And it works in the way that you have an industrial scale, which is connected to a tablet, which is managed through access control. So cleaning personnel comes to the waste room, they tap their card, and they put the waste type on a scale. For example, first they put paper, and they just click paper, and the waste is registered, and they put it to a big bin.
Fantastic.
And all the analytics, comes from that. We are really on a mission to go on zero waste and help companies understand first how much waste we produce, and then significantly reduce them.
And, I'm just interested in, are you producing the hardware as well as the software?
Yes.
Okay.
We found that the hardware is a key here because anyone can do a software. There are so many ESG analytic tools already. We integrate with them. So our job is to provide the hardware that really helps measure production of waste, and then we can share this data with other softwares. Of course, we have our own analytics and our benchmark of what does it mean good amount of waste. If you're good or you're bad, you can get a scoring through us. But software is the second part.
Well, no, I mean, I think it's really wonderful that you found a problem and then indeed, came up with the solution for this problem. I'm also increasingly interested generally actually in the construction and smart city space, because I recently had a statistic from one of our former guests that apparently construction is the least digitalized industry after the fishing industry, which shocked me. I mean, I expect that probably buildings and, big sort of commercial buildings are probably a lot better than the construction industry, but maybe you can tell us a bit more about, how generally, I mean, sort of, the industry you sit in actually is welcoming to digital solutions.
So since I started to work with technology in real estate, which is about 10 years, I see that we have done a significant improvement in terms of building operations. Like 4 years, we already had smart buildings in the sense that we used automation in the building, like, temperature adjust, the light can go off, no one has to switch it. When we were thinking about big buildings, that's how they used to operate. What we started to expect is that they will be smarter in the way of how they interact with us, the users of the building, so that I can really understand, do I have access to this building? Can I use the parking? Is parking available for me? How do I invite someone? How do I park my bike? How do I get lunch from the building? And that was a lot like last year's user experience in buildings. And lots of developers, and I would say every single building today that is delivered, every office building, which is delivered in Poland has some form of smart. Have some application, mobile access, and solutions like that. What is happening today is the ESG game. So energy reduction, water reduction, getting more data, understanding, do people really come to the office? Fridays, not that many people come to the office post-COVID. So why do we keep blowing the air? Why do we keep heating up the space? It's a waste of energy. And it's carbon footprint. So lots of technologies about that today.
Okay, well, that's fascinating. Renata, you've worked a lot with startups, I know, over the years, but ultimately, it's quite comfortable to be, I can imagine, to be, in a corporate job. So why take that leap in, finding your own startup and, sort of going out of that, let's call it, perhaps comfort zone when also, all the challenges that being a founder, brings with it?
I worked for years with different startups and different technology providers, and I feel like I have shared with the world so many of my ideas and I pushed so many things forward. I never had anything that I just got so into that I would feel like I want to own it. And when I started to really research waste and just thinking of the impact it has in the world and seeing how little it is addressed today, I got extremely fascinated.
Okay.
And further, I tried to do it with someone else, but when I felt like it's not delivered the way I envision it, I just wanted to take the steer and push it. And I think it's time also for me to have this product impact on the market, because I always had a consultancy supportive impact on the market. And today, it's time to just, have it on my name.
Wonderful, wonderful. Renata, also, I'm always very interested in different cultural mixes and so on. And I know you spent a lot of time in the US and then moved to back to Poland. And, what was the reason behind that decision, and how have you found, coming back to Poland after a substantial time in America? Is it a decision you think was the right one? Do you regret it? Tell us more, please.
So I lived 1 year in the US, so it was not that, that I got addicted, but it was enough to make me feel like home there.
Yeah.
Especially that I have an American husband, which, makes it like really local for me.
Yeah.
And we were debating a lot what to do. And Warsaw won in all the rankings you could do, in terms of just balance of how much you make and how much you spend, commuting time, social support for, growing your own family, and just kind of feeling like opportunity and energy. So I don't know if this is a long life decision, because there are moments that we really miss States, but I think for at the time being, in time of our life, this is the best place to really be.
And how do you assess Poland currently from the point of view of looking very much at the startup ecosystem, especially as somebody who's very much involved in it? What changes have you seen over the last few years, and what direction do you think that ecosystem is going in?
I think the worst is that Poland got really more expensive over the last years, and the cost of building something has just significantly increased. Our region is also perceived, due to the war behind our border, more risky. So I feel like there is less money to invest in startups and to really invest in the market, which is a more challenging landscape. But at the same time, I feel like it makes more realistic decision. Should we do it? Should we not? And I still think it's easier here than abroad. The pool of talent that we have, the international community and experience that we have here, it's really, really good. So in the balance game, I think Warsaw is a great place to find your own business and start doing something.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, I certainly, very much, I think the talent pool is one of the real key factors, right? That we have so many talented people who also have fantastic drive as well. So, that's key as well, that they're, driven to create and succeed and so on. Although many people do, then run off to the UK or US, which is, fine, but sometimes we do have a bit of a brain drain, which can also negatively impact.
Yeah, I always kind of joke that, because Poland has historically Poland was hit pretty strongly. And after we became really free to do business, we're hungry. We wanted to catch up. We wanted to show we're not worse than Germany, than France and the UK. But it's still here. So if you're looking for innovative clients, and if you're implementing innovation, you need innovative clients that are open to failure, clients that are open for testing, and this is the place. You know, if you look at the average age of CEOs in CE region, it's dramatically lower than the US and the UK. Yeah. So talking with people who are open to technology, open to new things, just makes you like go faster. And the most important with innovation, with startups, is to test.
Yeah.
So if we can, get this time shorter and people can test, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, absolutely. In terms of WasteTracker, what are your plans? Do you have the aspiration to go global, or what do you see sort of as the next steps? Because I understand you've just sort of really launched the company, so you're probably still pretty early stage. But what are the next milestones you want to achieve?
So we have first buildings in Poland active, and the next steps is European Union. So we'll have already clients in different countries than Poland, which is great. But we want to definitely expand further to all the countries. We're thinking, if there is a company that reports ESG and has offices around Europe, they should be able to have WasteTracker in every single location that they are. We're also testing new markets, so except for office buildings, we're talking with student housing. And with gallery malls, so retail usage. Globally, I'm not sure yet, because we're a hardware producer, so that's something we need to investigate, how we could do that. If we should find, if we want to go to the States, we'll have to find partners in the US to provide us with elements that we're using to build WasteTracker.
Yeah. No, but fantastic. And what, Renata, are your aspirations for yourself? Other than WasteTracker, which I can see, you're very passionate about and you put yourself into, and I'm sure very much your aspirations are tied to that project. But, what do you see yourself doing in the next years, and where would you like to see yourself ending up?
I probably... in the moment of my life, I would like to find a little bit more balance of myself. I was always running, always striving for more, always looking to the next new thing. And I would like to enjoy what I'm doing today and have a little bit more time to enjoy personal life too.
Well,
aging,
I keep everything crossed that that's exactly what you managed to achieve, that you managed to get that work-life balance. And of course, that WasteTracker does become, a European hit. And, I'll be keeping my fingers very crossed and watching, the things develop. So good luck.
Thank you so much.
And thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
And thank you to our listeners. And join us next time for Startup with Poland.